So let's do problem 3 on the practice exam. It is just doing some derivatives, and so let's just get started. We have to use the chain rule here for all of these. Alright, so what is y prime? Alright, so first I pretend like the stuff inside the cube is just a blob and take its derivative, and that gives me 3 times the stuff. And okay, so that's what we do when we normally take the derivative, but now you know the chain rule says that when we treat a big blob like it was a variable, we have to put its derivative, we have to multiply in its derivative. So the derivative of the stuff inside is 4x cubed minus 6x, right? And that's it, we're done, very easy. Okay, let's go down to the next one. Okay, so I've already copied the problem down here. Right, so what is y prime? So the derivative of this first thing is just 1/2 times x to the minus 1/2. Okay, and so what about this part? So maybe it's easier to think about that thing as being x to the 4/3 negative. Okay, so see how this is x to the negative 4/3 because it's, so that's just using the meaning of these rational exponents. So what this means is the reciprocal of the cube root of x to the 4th. Alright, so what happens when we take its derivative? We get, oh man, I hate this thing sometimes. Crazy, spiteful, hateful pad. Alright, erase. No, God, it's still writing. Stop. Oh man, I can't control it. So let me erase all this stuff. Very distracting. And remember that what we really want to do now is just take the derivative of this. So that is minus 4/3 times x to the, now we take away 3/3 and that leaves us minus 7/3. And that's the answer. That one's also very easy. Okay, let's go down to the next thing. Okay, so here I have to use the product rule. So I'm thinking of this as the product of that function and this function, and I'm going to use the fact that if I take the derivative of f times g, I get f prime g plus fg prime. So that's the rule I'm going to follow. Alright, so y prime is equal to, the derivative of this first part is 2. Okay, and the product rule tells me to leave this other thing alone. X squared plus 1. Okay, now I do plus, and the product rule tells me to leave the first thing alone and take the derivative of the second thing. So use the chain rule to do that. Right, so x squared plus 1, and now this is minus 1/2, and by the chain rule I owe the derivative of the inside stuff, and that is 2x. And this one, you know, some things could combine a little bit, but that's done. Okay, it's done. So let's go down to the next one. Alright, so you could do the chain rule to take the derivative of this immediately. It's a little bit easier if you use the laws of logarithms to simplify it first. So by the laws of logarithms is the same thing as natural log of t minus natural log of 1 minus t squared. And it's easier to take the derivative of that second thing. You don't have to worry about the quotient rule. So let's do that one, okay? So, oh please, Jesus. Sorry, I don't really know why it does that. I think it's getting worse about that. I kind of dropped my pad the other day, and maybe we can chat while I erase this huge piece of garbage. Alright, okay, so now y prime is equal to 1 over t, because that's just what the derivative of natural log is. Now I use the chain rule. You know, when you have a function inside natural log, an easy way to compute the derivative is just the derivative of the stuff inside divided by the stuff inside. So this is minus 2t over 1 minus t squared. And that's it. That one's done too. So very simple problem. if you are good at using the chain rule. And that's the answer.